Hey gang, I'm going to work on this really cool car. It's a Callaway SuperNatural. I have never seen a real one. This is a Callaway SuperNatural. One thing, look, pretty neat, okay. I don't know if they do it, but they did do a trim blackout. Real good job on the trim blackout. It should have a 383 stroker in it. My job is to validate that it has a 383 and make sure the tune is good. So I'll bore scope and look at the pistons. It is a 400 horsepower. There's documentation that shows that it's a Callaway. Let me pop the trunk. So I'm going to begin work on it today. The documents are in the trunk. There is a certificate from Callaway here. It matches the vehicle ID. It's got a pretty neat setup here. Check that out. 455 horsepower at the crank. It calls it the Callaway SuperNatural 400. They don't put a crazy camshaft in, like the Lingenfelter Impala or the Callaway. They put a reasonable camshaft to make this very fun and streetable. So this is gonna be fun. It's what model? Yeah, 95. So I can do OBD1 data logging and OBD1 tuning. Is that tire flat? Yeah, I better double check that for that tire. I can't open that with one hand. I'm gonna get this into my shop. It's a clean car. So, the hood is awesome. This hood is lightweight and fiberglass. It's not one of those heavily reinforced, like Suncoast hood that weighs like 170 pounds. This thing is a much nicer, better fitting hood, and it's a mild, like say Ram Air. It's cosmetic, but it looks great. It's got a good look to it. I'm gonna go drive it and put it into the shop. With my new garage door opener. Let's see how it runs. It sat here for a while. I didn't have it on the charger. I did not. Okay. That's a vacuum brake assist. Check that out. Making vacuum. I think it started really good just now. Okay. Low oil level. We'll check that if you're in the shop. Definitely need to check that. Passkey fault and ABS. We have oil pressure. Well, I'll keep you posted on this. Okay, remember it has a low oil level. Well, it really is low oil level. It really is. Why won't it focus? Anyway, we'll drain the oil and put new oil in and a new filter. Okay, I'm down here under the car, and they have this set up as an oil temperature sender in the drain. They capped off and bypassed the actual factory low oil level, and so then the wires for it are right here. You know, the plug is right up here. That's bypassed. I might put one in for him so that we can have that working. And anyway, I'm going to drain the oil right now. 17. It's not going to be a lot of oil coming out because it was like at the very bottom of the dipstick. Let me set this down. Okay. Let's see how much comes out. Well, maybe it'll be a normal amount. And the dipstick just doesn't go deep enough. It could be. Okay, so way up there, that's the wiring sitting on top of a header on the passenger side. You got to be careful about that. That's a good thing. The customer wanted me to look this thing over for error, you know, for potential problems. That hasn't burned through yet, but it's going to, so I'll clearance that. Okay, gang, I put a new filter in and 5 quarts of Royal Purple 10W40. I took the main engine wire harness, which was hanging down and touching the headers. I pulled that up, and then I put a real nice heat shield around it. I pulled a spark plug. You know, I borescoped the oil pan, and it's aftermarket rods. I can't tell which type, and aftermarket piston from underneath. Now, from the top, I can see it's a flat top, like a 5cc aftermarket piston. So this is, I can't verify the stroke, but I can verify that this is a built bottom end with forged crank rods and pistons. I pulled a spark plug here, yeah, the number 1. Did this oil change, put an oil level sensor in because they had put a plug in there, and when I get this up on the lift, I am going to change out, like number 6 spark plug wire didn't get changed out when the owner of this car did the Opti-spark. And I am going to go do a data log. This is 95, so I'm going to go run this car and do a data log and see how she runs. Opti install from start to finish, the way I do it. I'm getting the Summit brand Opti. I want to show you what I do. The Summit brand. First, I'm going to plug it in and just see if, in general, it runs the fuel injectors. That means it doesn't have a code. Let's say it won't have a code. So I unplug the fuel pump so the fuel injectors don't spit fuel. Key on and listen for the injectors. See, that means the sensor is working. It's making the injectors all click. If you had the coil wire hooked up, you could spin it And with a spark plug wire hooked up, you could see if it's sparking. That just lets you know if it's not dead upon arrival. Then I'm going to take the case off and make sure it matches the clocking of a stock one. Here's a stock one. A long time ago, in the 90s, I bought this kit. I can't remember, like from NASO. Really just had the tooling needed. I had to grind down on this E4. Yeah. So I want to look at the rotor to see if it's phased okay, like a stock one, because we've had a rash of Optis where the rotor isn't phased. Like the Summit rebranded stuff, because you know, Summit is, you know, it's China or Taiwan or wherever they sourced it from. They don't want that much hassle, so they demand a bit more quality. Okay, we'll set this to the side, undo the stock one. This will be my reference. Flip it. That's one end, that's one end, that's one end. Let's do the same with this one. The six reference. Flip it. It's not colored. I have to get. Okay. Now, because it's going to spin when I flip it back over. Okay. Now, how far off is it? If it's off a little bit, that's okay. And from there to there, I get the same distance. From there to there, and there to there. Okay. And there to there, I get the same distance. Okay. So I'm pretty sure we're clocked pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is Loctite those screws. Because I don't want to take the rotor out because it might lose the clocking. So I'm just Loctiting it for some assurance that it's not going to back out. It's coming. Just downside. Stay time. I don't use a wrench. I hand tighten. And then let the Loctite hold it. Just put the cover back on. And for this plug, if you want to make it waterproof, you could put RTV in there, then put your plug in, but then it's permanently in there if you wanted to do that. One thing I like to do is logo my Optispark. Now, let's see if I broke it, taking it apart. See if it acts the same. Yes, all is good. Well, I hope this camera angle is going to work. See if from the face of this to the end of the cam pin there is space. Let's see how much space. So that wasn't the problem. Not very much. Only, okay, 0.12 clearance. I guess that's enough. Back together, not entirely. I still have to get underneath and hook some hoses up, but I want to start it up and data log, just idle it and get coolant vented. The car came like this. It didn't have a clamp here, and a clamp here. I really do think it'd be best to get this because these are super loose. So that's one to-do item. I got to find some clamps to go to the hardware store and buy them. And I did. Now this is a mechanical pump, so I could only fill this up, leave this open, let the air come out, and then I would wait until that would dribble out. The vent here would dribble out. Then I can close it, but they're still probably not fully vented. But I am going to start the car, let it idle, and data log. Temp 74. Okay, coolant temp's working. Keep an eye on it. Nice and quiet. All right, I gotta get my truck out of the way so we can go do a drive. All right, everybody, I'm test driving after putting a new Opti in, putting a head gasket, not a head gasket, putting exhaust manifold gaskets on. The new Opti really is all that's needed, but to fine tune it and make it much better, it is, I do believe, I thought it needed exhaust manifold gaskets. The passenger side looked like it might have had a leak, but the driver's side looked okay. Anyway, I tightened up some clamps on the intake ducting where the right after the mass flow detector, and it was no clamping there, so I bought some clamps. Hopefully this will work. Anyway, I'm going to test drive. I'm data logging with EE-Hack. Let's see how it fuels. This is a Callaway SuperNatural SS. I think it does still have the original. It has the original Callaway SS, and but it has 210,000 miles. I did adjust shift points so that it holds gear a little bit longer. I adjusted torque converter clutch lockup to make it be at 50 mile an hour. Want to get the coolant temp up because this was just started up after having been cooled down so that I could work on the exhaust manifold gaskets. What temperature am I at? 155 right now. Now, yes, underneath the exhaust clamps for the headers to the exhaust, the intermediate, they leak a little bit, but that doesn't cause O2 sensors to do false lean. Exhaust manifold gasket, whenever they leak even a little bit, there'll be air sucked in. The O2 sensors will think that it's generally lean, even though it might be fueling perfectly. And therefore then, the long-term trims will want to be rich. It'll keep adding fuel. And I gotta keep this going so it doesn't pause my data log. The new Opti, hopefully it'll work fine. I did not adjust transmission at all because I think it's got a built transmission. And there's the torque converter lock. Just cruising along. See if this thing can launch. And data log it. Connect. Okay, here we go. Good tire spin. Hopefully my computer battery will last so I can save the data log. All right, Callaway SuperNatural car L-Line engines. Take care.